this encounter of Jesus with the 10 lepers and come away with the message that the 9 Jewish lepers were ungrateful for the healing that Jesus gave them, while only one, a Samaritan leper, had the sense to be grateful and come back and thank Jesus, all the while praising God. I want to give this story a new title, and hopefully it will give you a new perspective on it. It's a complicated story, and I think we should call it The 9 Lepers Who Obeyed Jesus and the One Who Does Not. And you're probably going to say, where did that come from? Now, first of all 10 of these lepers were breaking the law of Moses by approaching Jesus and asking for help. By law, they were supposed to stay away from Jesus and to warn any person, stay away from people in general, not just Jesus. They had bells. You think about Bell and a cat. The lepers had bells too, that they would ring, stay away. This is a dirty person. Don't come near them. And the lepers themselves were supposed to stay away. They're not to be close to other people for fear of contagion. But notice how Luke describes their behavior. They approached Jesus, keeping their distance. How do you do that? Try that sometime during the sharing of the peace. Try approaching someone to offer the peace while keeping your distance. It's not as easy as it sounds. Now, these 10 lepers don't specifically ask Jesus to cure their leprosy. They ask him to have mercy on them. And then Jesus doesn't announce to them that they have been cured or that he has cured them. Instead, Jesus gives an order. Go show yourselves to the priests. Now, right here, this is a crucial moment in the encounter. When Jesus told them to go show themselves, they were not clean. What Jesus told them to do echoes the law that God gave Moses in the 14th chapter of Leviticus. This shall be the law of the leper for the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought to the priest. Now, not one of these 10 lepers told Jesus, Lord, that won't do any good. We still have the disease. They all obeyed Jesus and went to the priest. That was the moment that they displayed their faith and their trust in Jesus. With all the effects of the disease still in their bodies, that terrible disease of leprosy, they went and did as Jesus ordered. Then Luke tells us, and as they went, they were made clean. Do you see how faith works there? Despite all evidence to the contrary, they obeyed Jesus and did what he told them to do. There wasn't any arguing. There wasn't any, we're not clean yet. Do we have that kind of obedience when circumstances tell us something different? Do we have that kind of trust in the word of Jesus? But this story goes on. Luke says, one of them, when he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice. Now, which one turned back? At that point in the story, Luke doesn't tell us. But one of them did. Now, I can't even ask you who you thought would have been the one to turn back, because you've heard this story so many times. You'd all say, it had to be the Samaritan. And the reason why I say that is the Samaritan had no reason to show himself to the Jewish priest. He wasn't Jewish. So why would he show himself to the Jewish priest? And so he turned back to show himself to the only person who mattered to him at that moment, Jesus himself. He showed himself whole and clean to Jesus, and he fell at Jesus' feet and thanked him. Now, under the deathly pall of leprosy, who cared if a Samaritan hung out with a Jew? They'd all be dead soon enough, so who could care? All of the people who had leprosy were cut off from everything that gave their lives meaning and purpose. They were cut off from family, from country, from town, city, friends, livelihood, essentially thrown out as garbage into the outskirts of wherever they were. That Samaritan was just one of the guys. But now, whole and clean, that whole Jewish Samaritan thing returned, and he was an outsider once again. Even Jesus called him a foreigner. Now, Jesus seemed to enjoy this moment of unexpected gratitude. All of a sudden, he wonders, where are the other 9? Why haven't they come back to thank me? And again, we might as well say, duh. Because you told them to go show themselves to the priest. And they immediately and obediently followed Jesus' command. And that's why I began this sermon saying, sometimes it's just hard to do what God wants. You think you're obeying God, and then sometimes you get dinged for obeying. So what are the lessons that we're supposed to take from this encounter? As I said in the beginning, it's kind of a convoluted story. I guess the one lesson we ought to take away from this encounter is that it takes faith to obey Jesus. But it also takes love to fall at his feet and thank him. All 10 had faith. They all started going to the priest, even though they weren't healed at that moment. But one had love. Many of the followers of Jesus has followed the commands of Jesus. They want to observe the letter of the law, but only the letter. Some perhaps have felt the sting of being an outsider. Some know that mercy, compassion, and love are always better signs of your relationship with God than the letter of the law. May the grace, mercy, and peace of God always be yours. In Jesus our Lord. Amen.
Okay.